Here are the crocodilian species with the largest skulls. At number 5, we have a toss-up with the Nile Crocodile and the Orinoco Crocodile. The largest Nile Crocodile skull is 27 inches or 68.6 centimeters long. The length of the croc this skull comes from is not known, but Ram and Nick Whitaker in the paper Who's Got the Biggest stated this animal was reportedly around 18 feet long. For the Orinoco Crocodile, Ram and Nick listed the largest skull as 25.62 inches or 65.1 centimeters long, which is smaller than the Nile Croc skull I just mentioned. There was also no length stated for this animal. However, I found sources online stating that the largest Orinoco Crocodile skull is 27.13 inches or 68.9 centimeters long, along with a couple photos of the skull. No length for this animal was stated. Given the fact I could only find this report on a forum, I can't put all my trust into it. Still, this very well could be accurate and be the largest Orinoco crocodile skull. So how big could these Orinoco crocodiles have been? I found some information on larger Orinoco crocodiles and their head lengths. Two animals over 4 meters had ratios of about 1 to 6.8 and 1 to 7. Based on the dry skull measurements and these ratios, the Orinoco crocs would have had the following potential lengths. The reason I say dry skull measurements is because crocodilian skulls will slightly shrink over time, by about 4%, as the moisture leaves the skull after the animal dies. Based on this, all 3 of these skulls could have had the following measurements if they were fresh, and have the following estimated lengths. At number 4, we have the American crocodile. The largest American crocodile skull is 28.94 inches, or 73.5 centimeters long. I wasn't able to find much information about this crocodile skull, but through an equation in this study, an estimated total length for this animal based on its dry skull is a little over 16 feet long. It should be noted that the study only looked at animals up to around 3.2 meters in length, or just under 10.5 feet, but a 14-foot croc measured in the documentary Super Croc had a similar ratio of 1 to 6.67, so this seems right. Still, let's say for the heck of it that this beast had a ratio of 1 to 7. That gives us a max length of 16 feet 11 inches, and therefore the following range for its dry skull. The following measurements is the estimate for the fresh skull, which gives us this other potential range for the American crocodile's true length. It should be noted that one study suggested that this animal was only 13 feet long, but I couldn't find out more about this report. Based on this length, the animal would have a ratio of 1 to 5.44, which seems too small to be accurate. At number 3, we have the Saltwater Crocodile. The largest saltwater crocodile skull is 29.92 inches or 76 centimeters long. The only fact surrounding this skull is that it came from a crocodile killed in Cambodia during the 1800s. Due to larger saltwater crocodiles having a ratio of about 1 to 9, this animal is believed to have been about 22 feet 5 inches long based on dry skull measurements. With this fresh skull measurement though, this crocodile is believed to be around 23 feet long. I should note as well that although the largest saltwater crocodiles have only been around 20 feet, it is believed by some that 23 feet is the max length for this species, based on skull estimates matching with historical reports. However, it should be noted that another salty skull could slightly exceed the Paris one. The skull of Bougain Senon, a 19-foot saltwater crocodile with claims of killing many people, has a supposed skull length of 30.39 inches, or 77.2 centimeters. Besides this being possibly the longest saltwater crocodile skull, this would mean this giant croc only had a ratio of around 1 to 7. By looking at the photos of this crocodile myself and doing my own estimates, this ratio could very well be fact. This shows that not all giant crocodile skulls mean they belong to 20-foot animals. At number 2, we have the Indian Gario. The largest Gario skull is 33.44 inches or 77.3 centimeters long. There is not much information about this particular animal or the circumstances of its death. To determine a range for potential length, I'll use a known upper ratio for this species, 1 to 6.5, and a speculative 1 to 7 max for Indian Gario. This would give us the following dry skull length range. However, a potential fresh skull length gives us this total body length range. At number 1, the largest skull for any living crocodilian belongs to the Tomistoma. The largest Tomistoma skull is about 33.07 inches, or 84 centimeters long. Not much is known about this animal or its true length. It appears that a known upper ratio for this species is 1 to 6.4, and let's say that a possible upper limit is 1 to 7 for big Tomistoma. That would give a Tomistoma with a length of around 17 to 19 feet. The following fresh skull length, however, would give us this range for total body length, which also gives the possibility that this Tomistoma was just over 20 feet. I will admit though that this is probably unlikely. Although these are the largest confirmed skulls for crocodilians, there are claims of much larger skulls existing, and skulls reportedly belonging to longer animals. The most impressive skull report seems to be from a humongous 25-foot Nile crocodile killed in 1903. Hans Besser, the man who killed it, said, quote, "The bones of the head measured 1.4 meters long," end quote. Now it is unknown if the measurement meant the dorsal cranial length or the lower jaw. Given the fact that the measurements are of a fresh skull, there is no need to account for 4% shrinkage. Testing out the ratio for this animal would help indicate if this story is true or not. Besser said a quarter of the tail was missing from the crocodile, meaning this would be the possible true length of this animal. If his skull measurement meant DCL, that would mean a ratio of 1 to 6.21, which would be way too low for a Nile crocodile of this size. However, if this measurement included the mandible, then there is some slight hope of this being true. If the mandible was this long, then the skull would be around 3.5 feet long. This would give a ratio of 1 to 8.2, which is possible for a large Nile crocodile. While there is no proof of this claim, Peter Capstick in his book claimed that Hans Besser was a, quote, "highly reliable and objective German writer and traveler," so you'll have to make your own opinion about this giant. There is also the skull of a supposed 33-foot saltwater crocodile killed in the Bay of Bengal in 1840. Since the skull is still available, measurements were taken to see if this report is valid. Although I have seen different measurements listed, I'm going to use the one listed in Who's Got the Biggest, which gave a measurement of 27.99 inches, or 71.1 centimeters. I don't know if this is a dry or fresh measurement, but it doesn't matter because 4% won't change the fact if this animal was around 30 feet or not. Turns out the 33-foot measurement is most likely false. Even if we use a ridiculous ratio of 1 to 10, the estimated length is nowhere near the 33-foot length reported. I also want to inform you all that I will be releasing a hardcover copy of my book next month, which will make it available in Australia on Amazon. The book is available internationally on Lulu though if you'd still want to buy it somewhere else. To learn more about the animals you just saw, buy my book, What We Get Wrong About Crocodilians. It examines claims of giant crocodiles, a World War II massacre, their regenerating tails, alligators and sewers, their record land speeds, and more. The book looks at a variety of subjects many people, including experts, get wrong about these animals, and I desperately wanted to dispel the myths that have persisted so long. Buy What We Get Wrong About Crocodilians in physical or digital formats. Link in bio, comments, or description to buy.